All right, what's up, boys? It is another just crazy slate, man. Another day where just a ton of news hit all at once. We're gonna go over all this news before we start answering questions because the slate has definitely changed a ton. So we got word, about an hour ago that Ish Smith. So Ish Smith was kind of projecting out as like the best value play today. He was way too cheap. He played a ton of minutes yesterday. Well, now Ish Smith is out. He was placed in health and safety protocols. So there's no Ish Smith. This Charlotte team is just going to be so shorthanded. I mean, you see how many guys they have out tonight. You're going to have to roster some Hornets. We'll talk about which ones I like the most, but this is a team you have to look to just with how shorthanded they are. They're going to run a pretty tight rotation, I'd assume, even on a back-to-back. So like all these guys look good. All the guys that we had interest in before look even better. And then we'll kind of have to talk about like a James Bouknight. If he were to start, he's minimum salary. He could be a viable cheap play, but I'm assuming that Cody Martin's probably going to be the guy they start in place of Ish Smith. But Ish Smith is out now. That's huge because obviously he was projecting out as a top value play. We also got news Tyrese Maxey was ruled out. So Tyrese Maxey's out. Shake Milton, I assume, will start in place of Maxey. Shake Milton's one of these guys that when he gets minutes, he can be productive. He's super cheap. Shake Milton's a great play now. And then the big one was DeMar DeRozan. So DeMar DeRozan's out for the Bulls. We've been talking about it all season. The Bulls are a team that it's really hard to prioritize rostering any Bulls. But when we get a scenario like this where one of the star players is out, it obviously makes Vooch look a lot better. It makes LaVine look a lot better. Lonzo, I think, is even in play. And then like a guy like Derrick Jones Jr. So Derrick Jones Jr. played a ton of minutes last game. He did start in play, or he started the second half in place of Alex Caruso because Alex Caruso got hurt. So Alex Caruso is also going to be out. So they're not, or he's doubtful right now. So they're not going to have Caruso. They're not going to have DeRozan. I mean, Derrick Jones Jr. might play like 36, 38 minutes. He's a pretty solid value as well. So, the Bulls, I think, look more appealing. I will say that Vooch, LaVine, Lonzo on DraftKings, they're not like, you're not getting a great price on them. Like, LaVine's 9,500. I mean, LaVine still needs to have a really good game to be worth this price. But obviously, with DeRozan out, he does get a big boost. But I think the price tag on these Bulls guys, like, they were way overpriced before. Now I think they're priced probably where they should be with DeRozan out. But I think they're obviously, in play still. Did want to touch on that too. But we're still waiting for news on who else? Karl Anthony Towns, who's still questionable. D'Angelo Russell is still questionable. And Giannis is still questionable. Those are the big ones that we're still waiting on. But we just got hit with a ton of news before, a couple hours ago. So we had to talk about that. But if you guys enjoy the stream, as always, please do hit the like button. We're going to answer questions for the next 25 to 30 minutes. So if you have questions for tonight's slate, you can start throwing those in chat, and we'll just, talk through everything. Let's get it, baby. Slate's getting messy. Yeah, it's crazy, man. It's going to be it's going to be a super, super high scoring slate. So if you're one of those people that, I cashed, or I put up 300 points and I didn't cash, well, just don't even play this slate because this is going to be one of those slates where you're probably going to need 300 points to cash because there's so many underpriced guys. There's so much value. You're going to see some super high scores tonight. Yeah, it's definitely Shake Milton night, I would say. Shake Milton's a really good value now that Max is out. Aaron Holiday's 3,900 on FanDuel. I mean, Aaron Holiday's okay for value, but like Shake, Cody Martin, I'd be playing these guys miles ahead of Aaron Holiday. DSJ or Seth Curry? Give me DSJ. But I think Seth Curry is playable now that Max is out. I don't love Seth Curry on this slate, but I think he is playable now that Max is out. Should I drop down from Edwards and play Hayward because the Hornets have nobody and play Naz Reid and Malik Beasley? Chris, keep an eye on the Timberwolves news. So right now, Towns and D'Angelo Russell are both questionable. If Towns and D'Angelo Russell both play, I would not be playing Naz Reid, and I probably wouldn't be playing Malik Beasley either. I would only consider those guys if Towns and Russell are out. But yeah, Gordon Hayward's a good play for sure. Now that Ish Smith is out, we might see Gordon Hayward play point guard some. He definitely gets a boost, I think. On Yahoo, I'm liking LaVine, DJJ, and Embiid. Thoughts? I like all those guys as well, T-Bone. I think LaVine, Derrick Jones Jr., Joel Embiid, all in play for me. If I can get the salary, I'd rather play Jokic over Embiid, but I still think Embiid's in a great spot. Definitely have interest in him. Jokic or Embiid? Yeah, give me Jokic, but I like both guys, Ryan. I'm going Lonzo over LaVine, but LaVine's good. I mean, yeah, Lonzo, I think, does get a boost without DeRozan, but LaVine's the guy that's going to just soak up all the usage. LaVine's going to be the guy that takes all the shots. I'll say that. all these guys saw their projections get boosted up a good amount with DeRozan out, but LaVine, I think, is the one that has like the massive ceiling. Butler or LaVine? Give me LaVine. But I definitely like Jimmy Butler. Without Bam, I think Jimmy Butler is a solid play for sure. Who runs the point for Charlotte? Oubre, Hayward. They're probably going to start Cody Martin. I don't know if Cody Martin will be the point guard, but Cody Martin's probably going to be the guy that starts. They could play, like Gordon Hayward could be the guy that has the ball in his hands the most. Like he could technically be the point guard for Charlotte tonight. Gordon Hayward could. How many is too many Hornets? I don't think before this news hit, I thought 4 was fine. I would probably cut it to 3 because now we do have some good plays from the Bulls opening up. We could get, some good plays from Milwaukee if Giannis gets ruled out. We could get some good plays from Minnesota if Towns and Russell are out. I think you're going to want to play at least 1 or 2 Hornets. I think 3 might be the max. Shaker, DJJ, give me Shake, but that is close, man. I think Shake and Derrick Jones Jr. are both really good values. Do you worry the Hornets get blown out? I think it's a little worrisome, Stan, but, one of the good things is they're playing at home. Philly right now, they're still missing some key guys. They're still without Ben Simmons. They're still without Maxey. I think Philly is favored a decent amount, but I don't think it's like too drastic. So right now, Philly is favored by 7.5. Like I don't think that's enough to where I'd be too worried about a blowout. So I'm not gonna fade the Hornets guys because of that. I'm still gonna play them. Hopefully hopefully the game stays close. Beal or LaVine? Give me LaVine. Derrick Jones Jr. or Herter? I think I'd lean Derrick Jones Jr., but that is definitely close. I think Kevin Herter is going to play a ton of minutes as well, especially if, Cam Reddish remains out. LaVine probably going to draw Aaron Gordon coverage. I mean, Aaron Gordon, look, he's a solid defender, but LaVine's just going to shoot the ball so much, so I don't think it really matters, honestly. I would not be fading LaVine because he's going to be guarded by Aaron Gordon. I would not do that. You should have another reason to fade LaVine. That should not be your reason, I don't think.
Yeah.
All right, we got a $5 super chat from my man Nicholas. This lineup looked good. DSJ, Boot Knight, Cody Martin, Cam Johnson, Jokic, Kelly Oubre, Embiid. Love the content. Thanks, Noah. Hey, Nicholas, appreciate the $5 super chat, man. Guard for 4,600. Yeah, Shake Milton would be the guy I'd play there. Now that Max is out, I would play Shake Milton there. But thank you for the super chat, man. I appreciate that. Appreciate the support. Cam Johnson, Melton, or Marcus Morris? Give me Cam Johnson. Anyone from the Cavs you like? Not really, Dustin. On this slate, I don't think there's a ton that stands out from Cleveland. Jared Allen, fine in tournaments. Evan Mobley, fine in tournaments. But there's just so many other plays that I like now that we're getting all these guys out. So, yeah, I don't think I'd be playing too many Cavs. Sabonis or Edwards on Yahoo. If one of Russell or Towns is out, I would say Edwards. If Russell and Towns both play, then I would take Sabonis. Milton or DSJ. That's really close, man. I think DSJ, if you have the salary, probably projects a little bit better. But both those guys are really good plays. I know on Yahoo that they're priced pretty closely. DSJ or Martin. Give me Cody Martin. I think Cody Martin's probably the best value play on the slate. Like he's gonna play 36 minutes, and Cody Martin has been a pretty productive player when he gets minutes, so he's a pretty tough fade. He's gonna be chalky, but I think that's chalky just eat. Jimmy Butler a good play if he's in? Yeah, I think Jimmy Butler is definitely in play. I think he'll go overlooked on this slate. There's a lot of people are focusing on paying up for Jokic. I think people are going to focus on the Bulls guys now. I don't think Embiid gets a ton of, or not Embiid, but I don't think Butler gets a ton of ownership. So yeah, in tournaments, definitely like Jimmy Butler. Who's your top spend up? Probably Jokic if you have the salary. I think Jokic is he projects the highest out of anyone tonight. Sorry, who is DSJ? Dennis Smith Jr. Edwards or Bridges on FanDuel? Give me Miles Bridges there. Hope you hopped on Prize Picks. I did, Dan. I got in on those Bulls guys. So I did make an entry whenever what's his name? DeRozan got ruled out. I did put this entry in. Over on Jokic fantasy points, LaVine, Vooch, and Lonzo fantasy points. And their projections have gone up like 5. So I got a lot of value in these. Like, I think Levine, now that DeRozan's out, he should be projected for like 44. I think Vooch should be projected for like 41. And I think Lonzo should be projected for like 34, 35. So I'm getting some really good value on these picks, man. I feel really good about this entry. I think as long as Jokic goes over, I feel pretty confident that those Bulls guys will go over their projections too. So it pays, it pays to be paying attention. You're looking at the news. When that news breaks, you go over to Prize Picks, you bet the over on the players that benefit, and most of the time you can make some easy money. Not all the time, but most of the time. Do you like Kuz tonight? I think without Dinwiddie, Kuz is playable. He's not like a standout play on this slate, but I think Kuz is in play. He did have a really good game last time Dinwiddie was out. LeVert or Lonzo? Give me Lonzo. Dejounte Murray or Chris Paul? Dejounte Murray. Oubre or Hayward? Sailor, I think both are in play. I don't have a strong lean between the two. I guess if you have the salary, play Hayward because he projects a little bit better, but those two guys are very close in my opinion. They both look like really good plays. Looking good without the mustache. Appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. The girlfriend, she made me shave it off. She was getting tired of it, so had to get rid of the mustache, sadly. Bridges and Russell if Cat is out, or Jokic and Niang. Well, now that Tobias Harris is playing, I wouldn't play Niang, so give me Bridges and Russell, I guess. Yeah, I think Boot Knight is in play. We're gonna have to wait and see like what the Hornets starting lineup is. If Boot Knight starts, I would feel pretty good about him. If he doesn't start, I think he's a little bit riskier, but he's 3K, so it's gonna be really hard for him to kill you at 3K, and he's gonna have to play some minutes. I mean, Ish Smith played like 34 minutes last night. You got to think at least 15, 20, 25 of those minutes are probably going to Boat Knight. Less interested in SGA with Giddey back. Yeah, I'm not as interested in SGA now, or not interested in Giddey. Giddey could still do well, but it's not as high. The chances of it happening are not as high now that SGA is playing. What's up, Mark? What's up, my man? Appreciate you being here, brother. Appreciate you being here. Favorite Prize Picks today? I mean, we're still waiting for some news, so like, if you're paying attention and you want to, be ready to make some adjustments right now, Drew Holiday, Chris Middleton, and Bobby Portis are all available on the Prize Picks boards, and they're all projected like Giannis is playing. So if by some chance we get word Giannis is out, feel free to take the overs on Drew, Middleton, and Bobby Portis. Those are ones I'm ready for. Okay, we did just get word D'Angelo Russell is out, Patrick Beverley's out, Karl Anthony Towns will play. Okay, so now that D'Angelo Russell's out, I think that does make Anthony Edwards look a lot more appealing. If you want to take Anthony Edwards over, 36.5 fantasy points for Anthony Edwards on Prize Picks, I kind of like that now that D'Angelo Russell's out. You can definitely take that if you would like. And they just put up a projection for Jimmy Butler. They got Jimmy Butler projected for 38.5 fantasy points. I think that's way too low. I mean, if Jimmy Butler plays his full minutes without Bam, I mean, he should not be projected for 38 fantasy points. So I like that over too if you want to take that. And then these Hornets guys, I mean, like Gordon Hayward, Kelly, like these guys are going to have to play 35, 36 minutes if this game's close. Over 29 fantasy points for Oubre, over 32 for Hayward. Yeah, feel free to fire up those. Over 36 for Miles Bridges. I kind of like that too. So there's a lot to like on Prize Picks tonight. I think these projections are just not that accurate, man. There's a lot of guys I like their overs. And this Ant one, yeah, now that Ant's out, or now that Russell's out, I definitely like the over on Ant. If you want to get that in real quick before they take it off, they're going to take it off very soon. Okay, Giannis is a game time decision, so we'll have to wait and see there. I think the Bucks play at 8, so I don't know if we're going to get that news before lock, but keep an eye on that. Pick 2, Butler, Levine, Beal. Give me Butler and Levine. Lonzo or Hayward. Already have Martin, Oubre, and Bridges. I guess if you already have 3 Hornets, then I would probably just play Lonzo in that scenario. But that is really close. CP3, Beal, or Murray. Give me Dejounte Murray. What's your favorite Memphis player today? I don't like too much on Memphis, to be honest with you. I think Jaren Jackson Jr., if I had to play anyone from Memphis, it would probably be him. But there's not a ton that stands out from Memphis. Think Charlotte's going to be insane chalk, maybe worth a fade. God, it's going to be really hard to just full fade Charlotte. Like, you have to roster some of these guys. I mean, they're going to play so many minutes. I think the only way these guys fail is if, like, Charlotte just comes out here and gets the crap beat out of them, which could happen on a back-to-back, but, Like, if Miles Bridges, Gordon Hayward, Kelly Oubre, if these guys play their normal 35, 36 minutes, they're going to do well at their salaries, most likely. The scariest fade from Charlotte is Cody Martin, just because he's so cheap and he's going to play so many minutes. Could you fade Bridges or Hayward? I think you could. But I think, like, Cody Martin's the guy that, man, I would just be locking in, I think. Vucevic or Levine? I would take Levine straight up, but, you know, both those guys look a lot better now that DeRozan's out. Washington and Levine or Lonzo and Bridges? Give me Lonzo and Bridges, but that's really close because I like both sides of that. Wagner or Kuz? Give me Kuz. Sabonis, Young, Embiid, or Towns? Give me Embiid. Edwards over Sabonis since D'Lo's out? I would probably, I'd probably take that now. I think those guys project pretty closely, but I probably would go Edwards now. Okay, Ant's props down already, so yeah. Leandro Bolomero is starting in place of D'Angelo Russell. Okay, well, I don't even know who that is. Who is Leandro? What? He's 3K. I expected to be 3K. I don't really even think he's like that good of a point per minute player. I'm gonna look up his rates this year. I mean, I doubt he's that productive when he gets minutes, but I'm gonna just confirm this. And I doubt he's gonna project for like a ton of minutes. Let's see. So this season with Russell and Beverly, we'll take both those guys off the floor. See what kind of numbers Bolomero has. So this guy's played 74 minutes. He's played 74 minutes with Russell and Beverly off the floor. He has averaged 0.49 fantasy points per minute. Yeah, that's just an easy pass. Okay. Yeah, 0.49 fantasy points per minute for Bolomero this season. Yeah, no thank you. Wendell Carter, Nurkic, Kuzma, or Pirtle straight up. Give me Nurkic there. Edwards or Bridges. I would take Miles Bridges, I think, over Edwards, but man, that's really close. Because obviously Ant looks a lot better now that Russell's out. You like Isaiah Stewart tonight? I think Isaiah Stewart is in play, but man, like, he's just not a standout play, I don't think. There's so many other guys I'd be playing over Isaiah Stewart. Allen or Ayton? Give me Allen there. Jared Allen if you have the salary. Edwards or Middleton? If Giannis is out, I would probably take Middleton. If Giannis plays, then yeah, it's Ant by a mile. 8,700 at util. What is Ant's price? He's 8,100, so I probably would take him now. Or if Giannis gets ruled out, you can play Drew Holiday. One of those two. Good luck tonight, fellas. Let's do some crazy shit tonight because that's what it's going to take. Yeah, this is going to be a crazy slate, man. Like I said earlier, this is going to be a super high-scoring slate. So if you get upset when you put up 300 points and don't cash, then don't even play this slate because you're probably going to need 300 points to cash tonight. Is 4 Charlotte guys too much on Yahoo? The pricing on Yahoo is a little bit softer, so I think you could play 4 Charlotte guys on Yahoo, but I would definitely not be playing 5. But I think 4 is okay over there because their pricing is just a little bit softer. Those guys are a little bit cheaper on Yahoo than they are on Draftkings. Thoughts on Alzey Johnson? I know he is a good point per minute player, could be sneaky. I mean, without DeRozan, I think Alzey Johnson plays a little bit more. I don't know how much he really plays, but if you really want to get off the board, I mean, nobody's going to play Alzey Johnson, so that's someone that could be fine. I can tell you how many minutes he's projected for real quick. So he's projected for... Oh, he's not even in... Okay, he's not even projected for any minutes. When was the last time he played? Has he been in the rotation? Let me see. Oh, okay, I spelled his name wrong. I put ALZ. It's ALI. I always do that. Okay, so Alzey Johnson, he's projected for 18 minutes. That's just a projection. He could play 22. He could play 14. But yeah, he's a productive player when he gets minutes. Without DeRozan, he probably plays a little bit more, but not someone I'd be running to roster. It's just he's a dart throw at best. Any interest in Beasley? I think Malik Beasley, now that Russell's out, I think Malik Beasley is in play. Even though he's going to come off the bench, he should still play at least like 30 minutes. So yeah, definitely have interest in Malik Beasley. Derrick Jones Jr. looked good. I think Derrick Jones Jr. is a really good value. Without DeRozan, without Caruso, he's going to play a ton of minutes. So, yeah, he's definitely in play. Jokic, Giannis, Curry, or PG? Give me Jokic. Garland, Bridges, Porter, Crowder. I'll be honest, Jace, like there's a lot in that lineup that, man, I just would not be playing. Like on this slate, you need to be looking at some Charlotte guys. You need to be playing some Bulls, and like you just, yeah. Like Cody Martin's probably the best value play on the slate. Like I don't know why you would play some of those guys over Cody Martin. Like Otto Porter, I mean, why would you play Otto Porter over Cody Martin? Any news on Giannis? He scared me hard that one slate. They ruled him out 8 minutes before lock. He's a game time decision. Who knows when we're going to get news on Giannis, but for now, it's just a wait. We should get word, I would think, at least like 20, 30 minutes before the game starts, but you never know. Okay, we did get word George Hill's out. Grayson Allen is expected to play. How about Giannis? Nothing on Giannis. So we got word from 2 Bucks guys, but still nothing on Giannis. So just waiting there. But who knows with Milwaukee, man? Last time they ruled him out like 10 minutes before the game started. So you got to be ready, I guess. Just be waiting for it. Favorite power forward on Yahoo? It's probably Miles Bridges. Probably I'd play there. Oubre or Washington? Give me Oubre. Utility at 4.2K. If you don't have Shake Milton, it would definitely be Shake Milton for me. With Russell now out, Beasley or Milton? I think I'd still take Milton over Beasley, but you know Beasley obviously looks a little bit better now that Russell's out. Chance of cashing without Jokic, Curry, Giannis, looking to get Levine, Butler. I think you can definitely play Levine, Butler if you don't want to play those guys for sure. I mean, the value on this slate's pretty clear. Like, it's kind of clear the value guys you want to be rostering. It's going to come down to which studs you play and if you get your studs right on whether or not you probably cash. So, utility 5,100. Let's see. I would probably go. I'd probably say Kevin Huerter. Just because Kevin Huerter is going to play so many minutes without Bogdan, without Hunter. Solomon Hill's out too. Cam Reddish is questionable. So I would probably take Kevin Huerter there. Do you think playing LeVert is too safe? Need players with high ceilings over safe floors to win? I mean, that's kind of true, but you can't really look at like a game log, and you can't let a game log be your deciding factor. You have to think about, usage and minutes and injuries. Shake Milton's game log looks terrible right now, but he's a great play now that Max is out. Like, obviously, if you look at Shake Milton's game log, 11 DK points last game, you're not going to get excited to roster him. But now that Max is out, he's a great play. So you can't just look at a game log and let that be your deciding factor on whether you play someone or not. And Karis LeVert, I mean, he has not shown a high floor this year. He's shown a very low floor. We've seen a very low floor, a lot of bad games from Karis LeVert. Another $5 super chat from my man Nicholas. Sup me again, LOL. Need a power forward, have 5,000 left, same lineup as before. Power forward for 5K, I would say, oh man. There's not much that I really like here. God, probably Marcus Morris. I mean, Marcus Morris, he's going to play like 30 to 32 minutes. He's not a super productive player, but the minutes should be there. It's a pretty decent matchup against Portland, so I guess I'd go Marcus Morris. But I'll be honest, Nicholas, like there's not a lot of plays I like in that range. But I guess I'd take him. 7,900 at util. Let's see. I would probably go Miles Bridges there. Miles Bridges or Lonzo, one of those two. Milton or Dennis Smith Jr. If you have a salary, I think I'd take Dennis Smith Jr., but those two guys project very closely. Who would you pick, Bridges or Triple J? Miles Bridges. DSJ, Cody Martin, Bridges, Oubre, Huerter, Jokic, and Embiid on Yahoo. I think that's very solid, Jay. I like that a lot. Is it worth it to put Cole Anthony as my util, and if Giannis is ruled out, switch to Middleton? I think that's fine, Adam. Yeah, definitely. Because obviously those Bucks guys, even though their prices have come up a little bit, they still would be pretty appealing. Giannis, if Giannis gets ruled out, you're going to definitely want to get some exposure to Drew, Middleton, and Portis. Levine or Ant? I would still take Levine. I would still take Levine there. $29 at util. Let's see. I would probably go Triple J. Probably Triple J or Lonzo I'd be taking there on Yahoo. Danny Green. Yeah, this is not a slate where I'd be playing Danny Green. I mean, no shot. Danny Green, I know he played like 34 minutes last game, but he still scored 17 DraftKings points. So, like, I don't see why you would want to play Danny Green. 4,100 Ford on DK, not Cody Martin. Let's see. Man, there's not much down. Probably Derrick Jones Jr., yeah. I forgot about DJJ. So, yeah, Derrick Jones Jr. I would play there. Go get them lineups in, Noah. Good luck tonight. Hey, good luck, T-Bone. Good luck, my man. Baller Edwards, give me Ant over Lonzo. Would you lean towards two big payups like Joker and Embiid, or work the 7 to 9K range with a value mixed in? It's really up to you, David. I'll be honest. I think I'm gonna probably play Jokic tonight. I haven't fully built my lineup yet, but you know, with all the value, normally when there's a lot of value, I try and prioritize getting in these studs with the really high ceilings and the really high floors, which is obviously Jokic, Embiid, those guys. But there's plenty of good plays in like the 7 to 9K range too, so it's kind of just up to you, my man. All right, guys, I'm out of here. About to hop off the stream. I appreciate you guys being here. Appreciate you tuning in. You know, keep an eye on starting lineups. Keep an eye on Giannis's status. He's still questionable. Okay, we did just get a couple starting lineups. So Shake Milton is starting in place of Maxey as expected, and Cody Martin is starting in place of Ish Smith. So there you go. And it looks like they are going to start Gordon Hayward at point guard. So, you know, now that Gordon Hayward's starting at point guard, there's definitely more upside for him. He's going to have the ball in his hands a lot. His assist numbers, I think, do see a big spike for sure. But yeah, guys, that's it. Best of luck tonight. Appreciate you guys being here. You know, we'll be back tomorrow, hour before lock as always. I think we got a really small slate tomorrow. It's only like 3 games, but we'll still be here talking through everything, answering questions. And best of luck, fellas. Appreciate you being here, man.